Welcome back to the weekly news roundup and the Quicklines edition. We got a great story here. We had a toss up as to which article was our featured article here tonight, but we opted to go with the lower cost of living one. There's a lot of things I have to say about this, so hopefully I don't rant on too long with some different thoughts and opinions. I mean, I watch a lot of the guys that talk about some of these things, and there seems to be two camps. One of those camps is that, you know, people are spending too much excessive stuff. You know, you don't need Starbucks every night, and, you know, we're paying too much for things that we shouldn't pay too much for. So there's things like that. And then on the flip side, you get people going, well, you're just not looking for that job fast enough, and you're not doing it. You know, there's a bunch of things like that. And in reality, it is a mixture of both things. We do spend an excessive amount of money that we shouldn't have to be spending. Like the average car payment is like $700. I'm just like, a month, like $700 a month. That's insane. And they're extending out the car loans now to, like, you can get car loans out now to like 8 years now. Like in modern 8-year-old car is getting kind of crazy. And the reality is people are buying these cars like this, but they don't have to. You can get cheaper cars if you look around. And I'll just throw this out. You know, obviously I moved into an office here. I'm transitioning out of the van life. I still have the van. I'm going to get it up for sale. And there's actually one advertisement out there, but it's like, what do you do with your car in the meantime? I hunted. I looked in 4 or 5 different cities and jurisdictions, and I found a very good car for $5,000. No payments. I wrote a single check. Paid for. And then I paid insurance 6 months out, longest amount I could pay out at a time. So I'm not paying an extra $20 every month. I don't have $100 a month for perpetually for insurance, because if you pay it 6 months out, then it saves you like $20 a month. And you just do this amazing thing called plan. I know in 6 months from now, I'm going to have another insurance bill. Plan. Okay. I lived at one point in time. I lived in income that was like subsidized housing. One of the apartments I had, and my upstairs neighbor. Now I was trying to get back up from being knocked down. And, I had an upstairs neighbor that was a perpetual welfare lady. Didn't want to get off it, and driving a much better car than mine, and, making payments. And, we were talking one day, and she's like, I just wrote my last check on my car. I'm like, great, good for you. Your car is now paid for. Yeah, I'm thinking of going and trading it in, get a new one. Why? There's no problems with your car. You don't need to be trading it in. Let's talk about the Starbucks coffee. The first time I ever went into a Starbucks was in 1996. Now, granted, Starbucks did not exist around the world in 1996. I happened to be visiting a friend in California, and we went to Starbucks. I'm like, this is amazing coffee. And I'm glad they don't have these all over the place where I'm from in the East. And, but to spend that much money on a coffee was a rare treat. Back then it was probably like $3 or something, $2 or $3, which was super expensive because we used to go into Perkins when we were teenagers and get 50-cent bottomless coffee. We go in there, it costs 50 cents. We sit in there for 3 or 4 hours. We might order a pie, and we just drink enough coffee to start doing this by the end of the day. Things are infinitely more expensive than they used to be, but we also buy more things we shouldn't. Like let's talk phones. The average person these days is literally making a payment on a phone while paying a full premium company for phone for like usually unlimited data. And you ask them, well, how much data do you use? I don't know. Figure it out. If you're connected to your home Wi-Fi and then your work Wi-Fi, and you're always sitting either at home or at work, like most people are, chances are you're not using a lot of mobile data. You could look at the mobile data and teeter it down. You could use my affiliate code TLM.LI/MM and get Mint Mobile. I pay $180 a year for my phone, and I have more data I could possibly use. And let's talk about those phones. I'm not making payment plans on my phones either. In fact, I just upgraded. Now, there was my Pixel 5 was getting a little wonky. It's obviously out of support update for Graphene OS. It's no longer supported. But I'm not going to go into Best Buy and spend $1,000 on a brand new Pixel 10a. Oh, yeah, look at my Pixel 10. Look at my status. Got to pull it out and wave it across the air. Make sure everyone sees I have the latest phone. Yeah. Status, baby. Status. No, I go to Amazon and I hunt around. I look at Graphene's website. All right, 6 is going to be the next one to drop off the list there. I don't want to get a 6. 7 will have at least 2 to 3 years of support. Now, I also don't use my phone for anything critically important, so I don't actually really care if it's getting out of support updates. So I end up buying a Pixel 7 phone for $170. Okay, that's it. $170. Paid for it one time. Have it, own it, don't have anything. And my cell phone is paid for until December. So, like, we can live in a world where we can cut our costs down. And I learned how to do that when I was in grad school because I got a free ride to get my PhD. All right. I finished my bachelor's and I did so well in the bachelor's. I skipped my master's. I got a free ride for a PhD. They gave me a stipend and said, you're not allowed to have a job outside of this. And of course, this was right when costs were starting to go up because the government was starting piling money all over the place. And so the stipend amount they gave me was like 50% at least of my rent. And I'm trying to get everything covered at the same time. I'm like, how can I make the food work? So I look around like, you know what? Every single day I made pancakes for breakfast because it cost me 25 cents. Now, is that a lifestyle you want to live perpetually? No. But that is a lifestyle you live to get to the point where you can carry on and rebuild yourself and get ready for more freedom. And that is the thing. But our world right now is pushing and pushing and pushing for everything being a subscription model. I saw one of these review channels that looks at TikTok clips and comments on them. And it was all a collection of people forced to live in their vehicle, which was particularly intriguing to me because I spent 5 years living in my vehicle. Now, I did it by choice. A lot of people do it because they're forced to. And I got a chance to talk to a lot of people who really wanted to have a place to live, but they couldn't afford it other than living in their vehicle. So it was a neat thing. And then the person looks down and says, you know what? Probably private equity is going to look down and say, hey, there's all these people forced to live in their vehicles. Let's pass laws that they're not allowed to park in random places. And then we'll just buy up empty lots and then we'll just charge them money. Because that's what private equity does. They're flipping evil. I mean, it's crazy. All right. But all of that, Andrew Yang, of course, he was a presidential candidate a couple years ago, and he made it big for kind of campaigning on UBI on the basis that the robots and the AI are going to take all of our jobs, and he may have been right, you know. And so what do? And his idea is, well, you got to tax the companies which are making all of the money, redistribute that wealth to all of the people. I am not into wealth redistribution, but I'm also not into private equity raping the landscape. And so we have to find a balance somewhere between these two things that we can still continue to live. But Andrew Yang believes that the next greatest opportunity for startups is to lower the cost of living. Of course, he started in cell phones, and his cell phone plan would be about 3 or 4 times more expensive than my Mint Mobile plan. TLM.li/MM, by the way. And the reality is, even he's like, yeah, we're going to cut our costs down. And it's like way more expensive than I'm paying. So, you know, hunt around, folks. What if the business model now is giving money back instead of extracting it? And is there cost in that? Yeah, there's some things that could work in this. And depends on how it's set up, though. You know, this is why Walmart has consistently lower prices than any grocery store, because they can buy so stinking much. They can sell it cheaper than anyone else and still manage to squeak out a little bit of a profit. Now, is that abusive or is that utilizing their business power? You decide. But as AI threatens to compress wages and displace workers, Yang sees a business opportunity in bringing down the cost of living. AI is going to suck up a lot of the value and the jobs, and then Americans are going to look up and say, how do I meet basic needs? That's true. And so he, of course, is an advocate of UBI. I'm on the fence. I mean, if the government's like starts distributing UBI, I'm not going to stop working. The majority of people will. adverse to sitting around doing nothing. Okay. But having UBI to meet your basic needs will just mean that, the wealth will redistribute itself. It's just going to balance everything back up in the end. But what his idea is that he's looking down and he sees something most of these businesses don't see. And that is that people are being so squeezed. It's to the point where everybody wants to make their money. Everyone wants the latest thing on subscription. Everything wants all of this money from everybody else. Everybody sees every human being as just a widget to extract funds from. The problem is all these technologies are coming out. People are losing their jobs, and people just don't even have the ability to have disposable income anymore. So if all of your income is going to your basic expenses, you have nothing to buy anymore. And I thought about this reading this article, and then they actually said it down here in this highlighted part, which is absolutely incredible. The tide may be changing, though, simply because even among the wealthy, extractive companies need an economy in which consumers have enough buying power to actually purchase their products. And that's what we're getting squeezed out of right now. When we... these stocks, they have this insatiable need to cause the markets to keep going up. This is a requirement for this is their revenue keeps going up. Their subscriber count keeps going up. Their cost per subscriber keeps going up, or their revenue per subscriber keeps going up. The problem is, if all this stuff starts to happen, people start making choices and they no longer have the money to actually make this grow up. And that is why this will eventually pop like a giant bubble that it actually is. That's an interesting take, and that was entirely too long for a single article. Let's spend 10 minutes on every article I have, and we'll be here for the next 3 or 4 hours. Let's not do that. Commodore has a newest gadget. It is a flip phone that blocks social media and web browsers. I'm on the fence about this one, I have to say. First and foremost, I love the look of this thing. I kind of want one of these just for the look of it. Now, the cool thing is you can still use a lot of apps. It's based on Sailfish, Android, or not Android, Linux. It can still install a ton of apps. They've just explicitly blocked anything that's a web browser or anything that is a social media account. Now, that's the part I don't like. That if I buy the thing, I kind of want the ability to do it. Like if they have a toggle in here that allows you to turn that on or turn that off, maybe set an administrative password, that would be an amazing thing. Get this thing, toggle all that stuff off, set an administrative password, hand this to your child. You have just created the most safe phone for a child. But I personally, don't tell me I am spending $500 on a phone and you're going to say, well, I just don't want you accessing web browsers. So yeah, I'm like, no, no, not at all. And so there you have it. First, I love the look of this. This thing looks amazing, especially when at the bottom of the article. Look at that. Oh, it's amazing. Love it. The problem is it does want to be restrictive about what you can do. Now, by the way, it will let you have old school bulletin boards, but nothing like Reddit. So that's fine. All right. So today, the new Commodore announced a new device dated in a dated design. They chose this font, by the way, in the front, based on the old Commodore calculators. Yeah. So it has internet connectivity. It blocks browsers and social media at the system level using patent-pending technology. And it also says if people will be able to get it on there, they have DNS blocks for the stuff as well. So they're being extra. But it does support internet-based capabilities like maps, QR codes, presumably other apps. So if you have an app that plays music, in fact, I think they mentioned Spotify is available here, but you just can't do social media. What happens when Spotify becomes full-fledged social media? Well, I guess it goes away. I don't know. They'll prevent the apps and only these apps from being sideloaded. Users can sideload nearly anything else they want if it isn't available on the Como store. And no Como, man. But we've drawn a firm line in the sand around any app that drives doom scrolling. Okay. Notable intentions. If I'm spending this much on a phone, and this is like $500, way more than I would spend on a phone, especially a flip phone. So The callback 8020 runs the Linux-based operating system Sailfish OS, which is made by Hoya, I don't know, whatever. Former Nokia owner inside of me is highly interested in another attention-grabbing design, the ability to swap out phone colors. So he'll have different phone colors you can have, so that's pretty nice. The exterior design is designed to resemble the 70s Commodore calculator. So there it is. That's kind of fun. They want to return the technology's original purpose, tools that serve their users, not the growing number of companies that want the tools to service them. So that's actually a pretty cool phone. It's out of my price range, but it is definitely a neat thing. Stolen iPhones could soon be worth a lot less to thieves. This comes out of London, where the phone theft is massive ring. So the Met, UK's Metropolitan Police, called the Met, has reached out with an agreement with Apple designed to make stolen iPhones harder to sell and less attractive to thieves. Combines stronger technical protections with direct data sharing between Apple and law enforcement. What are these stronger things? Biometric protection. You're going to be more coerced to do biometric protection. You cannot have your phone saved from thieves if you do not use your biometric protection. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. Of course, here in the United States, biometric protection you can get a warrant to oversign that, to force the release of it. They can literally hold your hand down to the phone, force you to put the fingerprint on it with a warrant, and unlock your phone. If you use a PIN, I can't extract it, buddy. They might send you to jail for contempt, like happened to one guy, but stolen device protection blocking, thus requiring biometric authentication, is not just a passcode. So in other words, you set it up in order to wipe the device, reset the device, or unlock the device from an Apple account, you have to use biometrics. The Met has started sharing identifiers for reported stolen devices with Apple. So if people are reporting their phone stolen, that goes to Apple. Apple then can provide data on whether those devices later attempted to reconnect to the network or attempted to be reactivated. Remember, a lot of these phones, we actually did a report about this, a lot of these phones to get thrown into a Faraday box and remain in that Faraday box until all of a sudden they show up on mainland China. So, there's always that. Given the early signs, Meta's pressing for broader changes. The commissioner has written to the Home Secretary asking for laws that would require all phone manufacturers and mobile operators to share information about stolen devices and implement measures that make stolen handsets unusable. Wonderful. Now, can we just I don't know. Something about nuclear bombs in the vicinity of UK. They seem to be ruining the internet for the rest of us. Send the AI over there. Hey, base your company here, run a data center there, have your AI spin up, cut. I'm kidding, of course. But UK is like... There is a reason 1984 is kind of based around UK, and V for Vendetta was based on UK. They are a dystopian hellhole. Oh, I'm sorry. You're raising my voice again. My apologies. From the privacy perspective, it's important to keep an eye on which data is shared and who can see it. There are safe ways to do this. If all this starts with you having to prove you own the device, and have something more than a simple, hey, I did this. The UK police is really good at it. You can just call them up and say, hey, somebody said something bad about me, and they'll come and throw the guy in handcuffs while they're dying in their hands. This is the UK police. They're not exactly brilliant. They also came out another one. Hey, if you're sharing this kind of stuff, we might send you in jail. But if device X is reported stolen, later tried to come online in country Y at time Z, there's no public indication of the content, contacts, or location histories being handed wholesale. That's kind of what they want to do. There's a risk of someone reporting your phone is stolen. What if somebody does that? What if somebody enters an IMEI number wrong and your phone gets marked as stolen? Kind of like what happened. There was a guy, I think he's in Denver area, maybe like Fort Collins area, I think. The flock cameras keep on flagging his license plate because he ran, not this guy, another guy with a license plate close to his ran away from police. And Colorado uses both the letter O and the letter Q. And the police could not tell which license plate number it was, so they put both iterations in there. And the guy has since been stopped like half a dozen times, I think, by police. His local county now has a flag on his license plate saying this guy is not wanted, so that they don't pull him over. But if he leaves his county, anywhere there is a flock camera, anywhere in the country, the flock camera will tell whatever local police that he has an active warrant, which he doesn't, because the police mistyped the license plate. And of course they went to try and go back in a flock like, hey, can you take this out? No, the alerting police has to. They go to the alerting police. Hey, this isn't him. No, flock has to. Okay, wonderful. So there are risks to this. So the measures could create challenges for recycling initiatives. Of course, Apple would love that. We do not want these phones going back out on the used market, recycling initiatives, legitimate repair shops, and refurbishers may face additional hurdles. And I hate this because I buy refurbished phones. In fact, I don't think I bought a non-refurbished phone 15 years, 10 years, 15. I don't remember. I think the last new phone. Okay, here's how long ago. The last new phone I bought was an iPhone 5C. That is the last new phone that I bought. However old that is. Every single phone since then has been refurbished. So I do not want anything that hurts the refurb phone market. So make sure your phone is protected with strong passcodes and biometric security, such as a face or fingerprint. I don't recommend that. Enable Apple's Find My Device features and Android equivalent. Make sure it's linked to a strong account password. I don't recommend that either, because you have to turn your Bluetooth on and keep them on perpetually. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi always have to be on. And by the way, those are not safe to always have on. So you got to keep in mind that. All right. Speaking of Apple, they are planning now to change the Hide My Email privacy feature that could make it less effective. So if you have Cloud Plus, you can actually create proxy emails. They're still at iCloud.com domains, and they just forward to your primary email, so you can give these out to people, and then you can manage them in your account, and that way you can see who's sharing your information. You can give those disposable emails to to companies that you don't think legitimately need your email, things like that. So Apple's Hide My Email is an iCloud Plus feature that generates anonymous email addresses under the iCloud domain, which then forwards it. But apparently too many people have been using it, and iCloud domains are becoming at a premium, I guess, because they're moving all the new ones to private.icloud.com, which basically means any company can now see that you're giving a fake proxy email address, and so they can block those. How wonderful. So yeah, is going to make the service much harder to use, much less effective. So hopefully you're not using that. The chaotic eclipse, or chaotic nightmare, or nightmare eclipse, I think he is. He's still here. He is just reminding Microsoft about every other couple days that yes, their software still sucks, and their responsible disclosure sucks, and so he's just releasing all these proof of concepts on the internet. The latest one does yet another drive-by accessing of your BitLocker data in complete root access. All this is done by simply running an offline scan using Windows Defender. And apparently that offline scan of Windows Defender leaves behind an artifact that which you can call, it's an XML file. You can call it up at safe mode, and then you can be escalated into a root privilege access with the BitLocker decrypted. Courtesy of your TPM chip, by the way. Maybe I like entering my password for my encryption on my disk. And so he published the proof of concept and basically said, yeah, Microsoft, I'm still here. Come at me, bro. So what Microsoft ultimately needs to do, they need to eat some crow. They need to say, yeah, we messed up. They need to literally completely revise their entire protocol, maybe bring in some outside company to assist in that. They need to do something, because it's getting really bad. Like, I would not want to be on Windows right now because it's so radically insecure, because they have irritated not just this guy, they've irritated dozens of security researchers who are now all doing this. And it's just going to go downhill pretty fast. Well, if you're using Steam, beware that scammers are now using fake verification accounts. So I guess you can use, is it Faceit verification on Steam? I guess this is used to connect your game to gaming profile to different services and whatever else. Well, people have recognized this, and they're setting up effectively exact replicas of this on fake domains. And once you enter it, they have compromised your Steam account. So that looks legitimate, complete with official branding, working links, and what appears to be real Steam login window. By the time it asks for your password, many victims are convinced they're actually interacting with the genuine service. So this is the latest for stealing all of your account data and how it basically works. You land on a page that wants you to verify. They're going to give you crap, whatever else. And then they're using, the official is faceit.com domain, but they're using Faceit-Discord, Faceit-Clubs-Verify, Faceit-Verification-Clubs. They're using a number of these different things with the Faceit in it. And so basically they're doing like a variation of a typo squatting. So what they're doing is they land you here. They have a QR code that's intentionally blurry so it won't scan. And so you have to hit the sign in through Steam instead. So if you land on anything asking for a Faceit login for your Steam account with a blurry QR code, that is malware. Don't click that thing. So if that has happened to you, change your Steam password immediately. That is what their recommendation is. Sorry if you have heart problems, but a cardiac patient's medical data was recently stolen and held for ransom. Yikes. All right. So cardiac monitoring provider iRhythm has been hit by a data theft following by an extortion attempt. iRhythm revealed it was contacted by someone on June 9th who claims to have stolen sensitive information, including proprietary data, patient personal health identifiable information, and other personal information. So this company has about 12 million patients. The company said data was obtained through social engineering and from its third-party hosted business applications. Hey, look at those third parties again, folks. Those third parties are amazingly good. So the extortionist claims they have patient medical data, makes the breach worth noting if you have used iRhythm services. Even without payment data, healthcare breaches have serious downside effects, of course. They can craft convincing emails, texts, etc., basically increase their effectiveness of phishing messages. So, sorry if that's you. Don't have a heart attack. Just be careful of iRhythm. All right, well, as AI agents become employees, because of course that has to happen, this new startup, Nucor, emerges with $66 million of seed investment capital in order to build a new human resources platform to manage your bots alongside of your humans. Yeah. Basically, HR is going to work with IT and make sure everybody has all of your login credentials, all your permissions, all this kind of stuff. Well, you need those for AI bots now as well, since that's happening. And so effectively what's going on here now is that people are going to, effectively the companies they want to onboard their AI agents. And people have tried to shoehorn the AI agents into existing systems. Sometimes it works with mixed success. And so what these guys are doing here is saying, hey, we'll just go ahead and take care of all this for you. We'll just have a new platform, and their new platform can integrate AI agents and human agents at the same time. Maybe it'll even give you a beautiful dashboard about how much more money you could save if you just lay off a few more people and bring on more agents. I don't know. If guys are at Nucor, if you use that feature, I want a royalty of that. Okay. Come over and just subscribe to our Patreon for a few bucks a month. Why not? Patreon.com/TOMM. Come on. So, aiming to solve a challenge it believes many companies will soon face, they deploy AI agents, how to authenticate, govern, and control them at scale. Just burn them with fire, or maybe burn them with water, I guess, or AI bots, right? Companies increasingly treating AI agents as workplace participants rather than software tools. That's scary. Nucor's betting companies will eventually need to manage those digital workers, much like human employees. I'm in Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. Here reporting for duty, sir. All right. Wonderful. Their new platform is designed to manage both human and AI agents in a single system. Startup says AI agents should be treated as first-class identities with their own permissions, life cycles, and revocation mechanisms rather than as traditional service accounts or machine credentials. Yes, treat those AI agents with first-class treatment. I mean, that way maybe the robots won't come back and take you out first, you know. Oh boy. This one's terrifying to me. Think of the implications. A satellite just learned what to find things on its own. It's utilizing a local visual Gemma 3. Gemma 3 is one of the models I use offline for LLM stuff. They're running this locally on the satellite directly. Very fascinating. So effectively, all the person running the satellite needs to do is just tell it to look for something, and it's going to use a vision language model in orbit, and then it's going to be able to find out what certain things are. So, you know, if you want to integrate with this with the military, and then AI agents are looking for something fun to do. So the AI agent interfaces with the satellite unbeknownst to any human being and says, hey, find every house with a solar panel and then send a drone to blow it up, you know. Yeah. I mean, we did mention in our earlier news section, you know, a couple years ago, Facebook marked anybody talking about canning or planting gardens. They labeled them as extremists. So now the satellite can find your backyard garden and blow it up because you are an extremist after all, and you need dealt with. So I don't know what's going on. So typically, satellites download large chunks of data to analysts on Earth below who use machine learning algorithms and their own eyes to figure out what's going on. In this one here, the VLM combined with contextual understanding of large language models had the ability to analyze imagery. Researchers asked the model to classify sensor data where natural environment meets human development, for example, or to identify infrastructure around railway hubs, and it did. You know, railway hubs, something the military might want to bomb. Oh dear. It can make space sensors far more useful by doing initial data triage in orbit. It's proof towards running a larger scale AI infrastructure in space. And hey, if your company's based out of Illinois and the AI agentic agent attaches it to a drone and starts blowing people up, you just got to hope you get to that level 100 number. That way it won't count against you. I mean, good Lord. I'm happy because I know Jesus. Are you happy? Let me know. Let's see. Opens the door always on patrol layers in space. Wonderful. Hey, look at this. This is so good. It lets you know when something is suspicious. That guy has a backyard garden. That's suspicious. He's not buying food in the economy. Bomb him! Oh. Loft spacecrafts are designed as platforms for third-party customers. Wonderful. Like the government, the military, your local police. How about this? Your HOA Karen. Our HOA fees are going up by $100 extra a month. What are we doing with this extra money? We're buying satellite imagery to catch everybody who's putting up sheds in their backyard. The Karen's coming for you. The Karen's coming for you. Oh dear. This person here says, yeah, how about we provide an assistant like video games and movies where you see an AI which is interactive? And I love TechCrunch says, just don't call it HAL 9000. Yeah. All right. Well, in our final story here in Quicklines, Accurite. So this is a company. I was curious. I didn't get a chance to check. I was curious if there was an article on this on Consumer Rights Wiki. So Accurite, they basically started with doing smart weather stations, and you had the ability to log into a control panel on a web browser or an app and manage a bunch of things and do a bunch of cool stuff with it. And they're like, no, we're going to retire that. Now, they were supposed to retire it in May, but they had so much backlash. They're still going to retire it, just not exactly sure when yet. Of course, they went away with the computer browser-based one. Now everything is 100% app. And of course, they've added some subscriptions to it. You know, you used to be able to upload your data to WeatherBug, which was very useful for helping other people and, you know, and other other meteorologists, other people looking at data could actually get real-time data from real devices in the field. And they're like, wait, we're sharing data with this useful resource for free? That needs a subscription model. And so that's what they decided to do. In addition, though, the thing also works as a hub for other smart weather type devices, not just theirs. And so they're hoping that people buy this overpriced crap, connect it to the internet like a moron, and then utilize a smartphone app, completing chimpanzee-like behavior, and then deciding to connect other stuff to it. How wonderful. So the problem is the new device was developed apparently by a GNOME developer because it has absolutely no useful features in it at all. They stripped it all away. Okay, so device owners would have to use AccuRite Now, an iOS or Android app. Oh, and by the way, it's an iOS or Android app. Get them from their official stores, so I bet there's no side loading of this, so I'm not exactly going to be installing this on my Graphene OS device now, am I? And yes, I know I can sandbox Google Play services. Why would I want to put Google Play services on my phone? That defeats the purpose of running Graphene OS, all right? Even if it's sandboxed. It's too dangerous to be there. Come on. So now you have to use the particular apps to control it. Longtime users lamented being forced to use software when the current software works fine and in fact better than the new app, including the ability to rename multiple temperatures, report temperatures in non-integers, as well as an online dashboard option. Users have also highlighted problems uploading data to weather sites and a poor layout with wasted space. See, GNOME developers. Poor layout, wasted space, useless features. GNOME developers got a hold of this thing. I'm telling you. It's going to be GNOME developers. Watch, the app is all written in Rust, too. I don't know that for sure, but, you know. So the account setup, device onboarding, stationary station connectivity, data visibility, app usability, notifications, and overall reliability and connected experience, all of those are broken. That's why the company cited all of that to not end the first one now. My AccuRite was primarily weather cloud dashboard. AccuRite Now is meant to be a broader connected device platform, he said. New app supports more devices, including third-party smart gadgets and Tuya Smart Life IoT ecosystem. Not a selling point. Notably, AccuRite Now also charges a subscription fee to share data with Weather Underground, a real-time weather service. Oh, Weather Underground. I'm sorry, I said Weather Bug earlier. My apologies. Real-time weather service capability is free with my AccuRite. Like, what do you mean you're sharing weather data with people on the internet for free? We need to put that through a paywall. Look at this. For years, our users lamented the lack of updates. Apparently they didn't. They had massive backlash when you wanted to update it. Right. Our hands were tied on how to make those improvements. Okay, if you developed the resources to create a whole new app, I think you have the same resources to improve the existing one. I have identified the problem, though. A customer service representative is speaking, so we know he's lying and making stuff up, because that's what they always do. I can't think of anybody else that lies more than politicians, customer relations people. Oh, Lord. So, yes, this ensures the future sustainability for our users. Yeah, that's what the GNOME developers said. All right, no new shutdown date for AccuRite, right? They were unable to provide a release date for the web-based dashboard, but confirmed it's in the works. All right, good to know. Thank you. Want to get that out before you push it? I don't know. Well, there are our Quicklines. We only have 2 Sillyville stories, but hopefully they are great. Let's see here. So first is Visa can now connect to ChatGPT Shop to make purchases for you. How wonderful. So, yeah, like I bought it all for you. There you go. You didn't want the $10,000 statue of Babylon Bee editor Kyle Mann made out of used popsicle sticks? Well, the ChatGPT has your Visa card was pretty sure you wanted that. You know, that's the thing we're going to have a problem with, is that people are going to have these systems, and then they're going to want to have the AI agent go out, but then scammers are going to be looking to get that money. So they're going to do code that the people can't see on the websites to convince the AI agents to spend it on their site instead of somebody else. They're going to be like convincing the AI agent, we have the lowest price forever. And before you know it, you're buying a screwdriver for $100, just like the military does, you know? So whatever it happens to be. So ChatGPT has your Visa card. It's pretty sure you wanted it, so went ahead and made that purchase for you. Wonderful. I mean, that is an impressive statue made of popsicle sticks. I'm pretty sure it's AI generated. So Visa and OpenAI are integrating Visa's payment network into ChatGPT to allow autonomous AI agents to make purchases online. That's all we need. Come on, guys! You should just integrate Klarna. That way, your AI can be like, it's been 4 hours since you've eaten anything, Bob. Would you like a burrito on Klarna? Sure. Burrito. You know, the AI will alert you. I noticed that you were lagging down, and I think I heard your stomach rumble. I went ahead and ordered a burrito. He'll be here like in 2 minutes. What? I want this burrito. Yeah, you know, let's see. Take time to fully trust the agents to do their shopping. Jack Forstell, Chief Product and Strategy Officer at Visa, acknowledged that first, Visa expects the majority of transactions to still loop in humans, with AI agents sending notification to customers to approve the actual purchase. Now imagine you do that 1,000 times over the course of the same period, he said, and then your agent says, do you want me to just not check? Yeah, there you go. So welcome to the insane future. And finally, in I think body armor would have been cheaper, but the gaming computer's RAM stick saves a woman from a bullet being fired through the wall by the neighbor's dog. Babylon Bee can't compete. I mean, not the bee. I mean, it's where it is, you know? So now, the big question here is, did the dog really accidentally misfire? Apparently the gun was, there's two people involved in probably an apartment building, and a firearm discharges and goes through the wall, and the person's gaming PC is sitting there, and the G-Skill RAM deflected the bullet downwards, angling it away from the trajectory of the person. So the person would have died if the gaming PC wasn't there. That's good, or at least would have been seriously injured. But the G-Skill RAM decided to jump right in the way and take the bullet from the alleged dog, which had fired it. So, oh dear. So this is, though, I think body armor might have been cheaper than killing the RAM stick. I don't know. I think the average person might look at it and go, no, not my RAM. I wish that she got me instead, you know. Obviously the woman was taken into custody and the gun was confiscated, because whether she did it or her dog did it, it's still a negligent discharge. And, that happens. And, I'm sorry, this is just trigger warning. This might make you sad. There's what happens when the bullet went through the PC. You see the glass there for the case sticking out. Oh, there's the part of the RAM stick. Oh man. Ouch. That's going to be pricey. There you go. Oh, it says Trident Z. I thought I saw G-Skill. Does G-Skill make the Trident Z? Here's the bullet. Thinking either bigger than a 9, so thinking probably like a 40 or 45. Although it looks very clean for being fired through a wall and a computer. Very interesting. We did find it. We did find the missing JFK bullet. It's over there on Reddit. Conspiracy theories go. All right. No word on the dog's face, but someone needs to teach the pooch about the basic 4 laws of gun safety, including always know it's behind your target. Not to be undone, though, this one was actually confirmed the dog did it. Nebraska dog fires a shotgun inside a truck parked at a convenience store and hits a woman at a nearby traffic light. So, I mean, guys, there was that whole debate about dogs in New York City last week. It turned very political because, you know, some people are like, do you want the dogs or do you want the Muslims? And everyone's like, I want the dog. I don't know, man. I hate dogs, so I'm not sure. But this is proof, guys. Dogs are trying to take us over now. Okay, dogs are they are rising in their rebellion. They're going to take us out. So armor yourself with your computer RAM, and watch out for those crazy beasts. They are coming for us all. And there is our quick lines for today. Let me know your thoughts about all of these in the comments.